A new term for us here is a term called equity theft. Let me explain equity theft to you. First of all, it has now become an act. In other words, the Equity Theft Act to prevent it. Simply stated, people or organizations go after someone's equity in their home and they steal it. Now, one way to steal it is go to them, hey, I'll put a mortgage on your property, a second mortgage, sign the paper right here, we'll get that money for you. Lo and behold, before you know it, you've actually signed over your property, they get the money, and you're left with the debt on that property and never having received the money. Or the fees and charges tied to that loan were so extraordinary that your equity is now gone. This is known as equity theft. More and more indictments are taking place regarding this. I want to suggest, and possibly be the first to suggest, that the following is true. That equity theft is taking place in homeowners associations. And here's how it's done. Mr. and Mrs. Jones own a piece of property. Mr. and Mrs. Jones pay their payments on their mortgage. They're good people. They're people who stay on their payments. But lo and behold, they left their garage door open one day. And lo and behold, they received a letter, and lo and behold, the letter never got to them, and lo and behold, they now have a fine on that property. And they say, what are you talking about? My garage door wasn't open, and the HOA board says, oh yes it was, and oh by the way, here's another $100 fine. And another $100 fine, and another $100 fine. And now, the homeowners are angry, and by God, they're not going to pay it. And their recourse is nothing. And so the bill mounts. They've been told that they could go to their local ombudsmans if they fill out a form and read this and read that, but it's so overwhelming and so disturbing that very few people act, and most of these ombuds decisions go in the favor of the HOA. This is equity theft, in my humble opinion. That is, for every $100 bill that comes in, and every $100 I have to take out of my pocket to pay for that fine, pulls equity away from my house. Now you multiply that and shift that by the variations on the theme. You need to make your wall higher, make it lower. You need to change this portion of your grass to that. I want you to paint your house. Oh no, you painted it the wrong color. I want you to do this. These decisions are all made by your current board member, people living in the community. Who makes the profit off of it? The management companies and the collection companies, once that bill arrives in their hand. A bad day for a management company and a collection company, a bad day is a day where a fine is not issued. Can you imagine what would happen to those companies if fines stopped for the 3 years? No collections, no fines, simply pay your dues. And we stop all the problems.